Andrew McCART, IFL TV, proudly sponsored by Everlast, and I've got to say I'm delighted to be joined by the WBO Bantamweight World Champion, Paul Butler. Paul, before I've already said hiya, how you doing, man? So let's just jump straight into it. Did you watch Inoue versus Donaire too, and what are your thoughts?
Yeah, I think he was unbelievable. Listen, watching as a fan, not as a potential opponent, you've got to respect him. You've got to sit there and admire what he does. He's frightening in what he does, mate. I honestly thought it'd go past 7 rounds, and I thought he'd get to him to the body after the late shots in round 11, and I think it was 12 in the previous fight. I think he'd target the body, but wow, yeah, just wow.
It's the shot selection as well. I mean, Donaire started quite well using off the jab. He was sort of on the front foot, pushing Inoue back, but there's no phase in Inoue. It seems like he's fearless when he goes in there against anyone.
Yeah, I think that was Donaire's tactics, pushing back and try and take him out of his rhythm. But getting him out of his rhythm is just, well, it's obviously hard to do. He pushed him back to the ropes, and he gets nailed with a right hand himself. That right hand finishes most people. He gets back to his feet. He goes back to his corner at the end of the first. He comes out, and I think the refs had a bad night there. Well, I think he's about 10 seconds late. I think the left hook, what catches him on top of the head, I think he should jump in there as he scrambles his legs and he sees Inoue walk towards him. I think he's got to jump in there knowing that the power that Inoue possesses.
That being said as well, there's another side of that coin that it is Nonito Donaire. We've seen Donaire's, like, he bounced back. We know what he's like when he takes a shot. He's tough as old boots. So maybe the referee on that sense is thinking it's Donaire, he'll recover quick, he can get his senses. But again, I know what you're saying, but maybe it should have been stopped 10 seconds quicker. But going back to that right hand, the first knockdown, do you think he even recovered from that, even with that minute break?
No, I don't think he did recover from that. I think it was a great shot. He still looked a bit unsteady on his legs as he got to his feet. I think if the round had gone on another 20 seconds, I think he gets rid of him there. But I don't think he recovered. I think he comes out, the fighting spirit that he shows, he does try to fight back and he tries to push him back. I think he got hurt for the first time in the second round, and he starts firing back, and I think that was maybe the wrong move. But what you do with Inoue once he hurts you, do you know what I mean? He's a great finisher. So you've either got to do one thing: take a knee and take your 8 counts, or fire back. And I think that's what Donaire chose to do today. He tried to fire back, and unfortunately, it was the wrong move for him.
Paul, there's been a lot of sort of like emphasis in boxing to get that undisputed. I mean, we've had 4 undisputed champions made in the last sort of like just over a year. When you start with Josh Taylor becoming undisputed, then you've got Canelo, then Charlo, and then Devin Haney at the weekend there. So that's 4 undisputed champions. Now, for Inoue to become undisputed, he needs to go grab that belt that you hold, and that's the WBO. A fight you want, a fight you'll take, and a fight you're going to relish, I suppose.
Yeah, 100%. Listen, that's why we're in this. Listen, I come into the sport and I wanted to become a world champion. When you achieve your goal, you set yourself another goal. And mine was to unify the division. Become undisputed is just, that's, listen, not the very, very small minority of boxers win world titles. Not many even get to box for the undisputed. I'd be daft not to take that one night. Absolute daft. He's arguably 1 or 2 pound for pound great, and he's absolutely huge in Japan, so why not?
How do you beat him then? You spoke about how his shot selection is fearless, and if he's got you hurt, he goes for the kill. So how do you beat him? How does Paul Butler go in there and stop somebody like just beat Inoue?
Yeah, I'm on a WhatsApp group, right, and someone put literally as the fight ended, saying Paul stood there with his notepad writing his weaknesses, and I just put underneath it, pen unused. There is no weaknesses there for him, is there? If you're being picky when you're, like, I'm an amateur coach, I train the kids. If you're being picky, when he jabs, he lifts his chin up a tiny little bit. And I think that's what Donaire caught him with in the first fight, where he jabs, he lifts his chin up a little bit, he rises a tiny bit. But wow, you've got to be sharp to get over the top of his jab as well, because his jab's fast, his jab's hard. Listen, he's a complete fighter. My dad rang me after it as well. He said he is a complete fighter. Like he said, he's one of the best I've seen in 20, 30 years. But listen, you've got to test yourself against the best sometimes. And I'll look back on my career and I can say I won 2 world titles. I got in there with Inoue. I've challenged myself to the best. If I win, I win. If I lose, I lose. I can walk away from the sport.
Again, I know your coach Joe Gallagher, man. I know he'll come up with a game plan, and he's a great coach, Joe. So, I mean, even trying to game plan for Inoue is difficult. What's Joe said to you about the potential matchup between you and Inoue?
Nothing really, to be fair. He's just shared a post on Instagram. So hopefully we're pushing for the fight. I know he said at the end of his talk there, he said he wants to be undisputed by the end of the year. If not, he's going to move up. But listen, if he wants to do it this year, I'm all for that. So hopefully we can get that made.
But what would it mean to you I mean, we've seen it, Paul, like undisputed and what it means to fighters. But for you to become undisputed, I mean, becoming as an amateur, coming through them ranks and winning your first world title, did you ever envision fighting for all 4 belts and the possibility of holding all 4 belts? Even the Ring magazine, I suppose, as well, is in there.
Never ever, mate. My goal, like I touched on before, was just to win a world title. I've done that twice now, and there's a man in my weight division that holds every other belt. WBC, WBA, IBF, and the Ring magazine. He didn't have the Ring magazine in the ring.
No,
though,
he didn't have
he?
it. No, but he does. I think he does have it, because I think they fought.
He does have it. Yeah.
Yeah.
He boxed Rodriguez for it.
That's right. Yeah.
So I'd be absolute daft not to want that fight. It's a once in a lifetime opportunity. So why not take it?
I know it's a good. Do you get your thoughts on the fight so quickly after the Inoue won it and beat Donaire there in the second round stoppage? But I know Inoue probably won't watch this, but do you have a message for Inoue?
Listen, just send the contract over, kid, and we're all systems go.
There you go. Listen, Paul, thank you so much for doing this fight for TV, man. Listen, tell you what, if you get this fight, man, good luck to you, man. I suppose I've seen how hard you work in the sport, so you definitely deserve it. So, fingers crossed for you, man. Keep training hard. I suppose that's the best way, the best advice I can give you.
That's all we can do, mate.
Exactly, Paul. Listen, enjoy the rest of your day, mate. I'll catch up with you soon, brother.
Nice one. Speak soon, lad.
Cheers, Paul. Thank you.
Welcome, Team Everlast, to the Team Everlast Fitness app. Download the Everlast Fitness app and find your greatness within.